Imagine a world where Europe speaks Arabic, not just as a second language, but as the very foundation of its history. In 1212, on the plains of Spain, a single battle took place that changed everything. This wasn't just another clash of armies. It was the fault line of history itself. The Battle of Al-Uqab, or as the Christians called it, Las Navas de Tolosa. This was the knockout blow that shattered Almohad power and threw open the floodgates for the Christian reconquista, Al-Andalus. The name alone conjures images of centuries of advanced civilization. But on that one fateful day, it all began to crumble. So here's the question few dare to ask. What if ... that didn't? What if the Almohads had won a decisive victory, or even fought the Christian forces to a catastrophic draw? This isn't just history. It's the alternate reality that could have reshaped our entire world. Forget what the textbooks told you. Just picture the scene. Tens of thousands of soldiers locked in a brutal, desperate struggle. The Almohads, led by Caliph Muhammad al-Nasir, versus a grand coalition of Christian kings. In our timeline, al-Nasir fled the field, and his army was routed. But in our alternate reality, al-Nasir holds his ground. He trusts his elite guard. He sees a weakness in the Christian line, and he launches a decisive counterattack. He gambles everything on one final desperate roll of the dice. And he wins. This isn't just a tactical change on a battlefield. It's a fundamental shift in the social physics of the world. You see, the historic loss in 1212 wasn't just a loss of men. It was a devastating loss of morale. When great cities like Seville and Cordoba fell decades later, it was largely due to internal collapse and division, not because they were overwhelmed by a superior force. But in this alternate timeline, a victory doesn't just buy the Almohads land. It buys them something far more precious: time and confidence. The legend of their invincibility is restored. And this is where everything starts to spiral into a new reality. Europe in 1212 was a fragmented mess. England and France were constantly at each other's throats. The Holy Roman Emperor was feuding with the Pope. The Christian coalition was fragile. Had the Almohads held strong, the Reconquista would have sputtered to a halt. Instead of a rapid conquest, you get a stalemate. Al-Andalus transforms from a target into a bridge, not for military invasion, but for a cultural one. Imagine this: the sustained flow of Arab philosophy, medicine, and mathematics into Europe doesn't just continue, it accelerates. Europe doesn't need a renaissance to rediscover Aristotle and other classical thinkers through dusty, forgotten texts. It gets them directly from the vibrant intellectual centers of Cordoba and Toledo, complete with centuries of additional commentary and advancement. How many years of scientific progress does this save Europe? Or does it simply make Europe dependent on Andalusian innovation? Now think about power. The Almohads are no longer a defensive, crumbling state. They are a major deterrent. The northern Christian kingdoms are forced into a state of coexistence. A crusading spirit that fueled their expansion is blunted. There's no more war booty from the south to fund their military ambitions. Instead of constant conflict, you get a tense peace, punctuated by diplomacy and trade. This relative calm, this stalemate, is perhaps the most world-altering outcome. It grants Al-Andalus 1 or 2 more centuries of uninterrupted development, free from existential threats. So here we are, a century or 2 later. We have a stable, prosperous, and powerful Al-Andalus. And what does a great power do? It expands, but not necessarily north into the hornet's nest of Christian Europe. Remember, this is the age of global trade. In our alternate reality, the Almohad Empire pivots. It consolidates its power south, securing the Maghreb and locking down the trans-Saharan trade routes, the source of West Africa's legendary gold. They build a formidable navy to protect their trade with the East and dominate the Western Mediterranean. Now they have the gold, they have the advanced knowledge from their universities, and they have the naval power to project their influence across the seas. So when the European Age of Discovery is supposed to kick off in the 15th century, who is in the position to lead it? Instead of Castile and Aragon bankrolling Columbus, perhaps it's the Caliph in Cordoba funding voyages of exploration. Perhaps the Americas are reached first by ships flying a very different flag, crewed by men speaking Arabic. Imagine that world map. Lisbon, Cordoba, and Seville aren't just regional hubs. They are the unrivaled centers of a global empire. There is no Spanish Golden Age. There is the second, even more magnificent Andalusian Golden Age. That single victory in 1212 didn't just save a caliphate. It completely rewrote the rules of the entire modern world. A victory, or even a costly draw, for the Almohads at Al-Uqab would have done more than just prolong the life of a single empire. It would have fundamentally altered the geopolitical, cultural, and scientific balance of the planet forever. The lesson here isn't just about military wins or losses. It's about the astounding fragility of our own history. Everything you think you know about the global map, about cultural evolution, about the world you live in today hung by a single slender thread on that hot summer day on the hills of Spain. Our history was never destiny. It's just the story of what happened. And it so easily could have been entirely different. What's the one great European invention or idea that you think would have been delayed, or might never have happened at all if Al-Andalus had maintained its scientific dominance? I'm genuinely curious. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if this story made you think, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more. We've got an even crazier alternate history coming up next, and you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching.